And we see that Nara and Ratje are already jumping into the game. We see Nara starting off with that Warlock, and there is the Zoo, and Ratje is playing his Shaman, and we see Flame Juggler, Doomhammer. Can it be a little bit more aggressive version from Ratje?
It could be. It could still be that more mid-range that most of the time runs one Doomhammer, one a Bloodlust.
Yeah, we'll see what's
but
gonna happen.
that Flame Juggler indicates that it's a more aggressive one.
Yeah, especially. I think Zoo is pretty favored against Shaman, especially when it's a little bit of a mid-range because you have a little bit more time to develop a board. I think Nara has to swap everything. You want your one drops, and you want your abusive sergeant to make good trades on that totem golem and even on the Feral spirits. You can maybe keep Dark Battler. I don't really like keeping the Knife Juggler though. You don't get a lot of juggles off, but with two Knife Jugglers, it's gonna be a whole different story, especially when Ratje doesn't have that one drop.
Well, he draws into the abusive sergeant, and do you play it?
Yeah, definitely. Because it contests a coin 2-drop, and it also contests the Flame Imp.
So yes, we see that abusive sergeant being slammed down, and then, yeah, what are you gonna play, Dark Peddler?
Yeah, now you have to go for Dark Peddler. You cannot go for that Knife Juggler. You cannot give your Knife Juggler away to an abusive sergeant. And Ratje was also not afraid of Void Walker because he still had that 50-50 juggle on the Void Walker and still traded. And there you go. Going for the Possessed Vision instead of the Power Overwhelming. And I think he does that. He already has one Power Overwhelming, but he has also double Knife Juggler. And that Possessed Vision is pretty sticky, gives you 2 juggles. It's pretty good one. Trading first is also pretty well played by Ratje, not missing a single damage here.
And there is that Imp Gang boss.
Yeah, that's huge.
You want to develop something, so you're probably gonna...
Yeah, you go for Possessed Villager.
Yeah.
It's sticky, it stays on the board. It can even tank 2 damage from the Flame Juggler. And if the Flame Juggler doesn't trade this, you can maybe get some value out of it with double Knife Juggler or...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Looking at all the Shaman decks over the last weeks, we saw the very aggressive Shaman, we saw the more mid-range Totem kind of Shaman, and now we see the more of a hybrid Shaman, I believe, in Ratje's hand. He has a Tusker Totemic, which is more of a mid-range, but also the Argent Horse Rider and the Flame Juggler, which is more of an aggressive style.
Yes. Yeah, Ratje is doing this really well. It's so important that you know how to play against Zoo. You have to remove every single turn all the minions of Zoo, so they cannot buff their cards, and that's your strategy. And now you just slam down that Imp Gang boss, and if Ratje doesn't find a way of dealing with that Imp Gang boss, that double Knife Juggler is gonna get a lot of juggles. Ooh, and that's a huge pickup.
That Flame Tongue Totem is also pretty huge. He can use that as a very efficient trade with one of his wolves. Even that
4-3.
That 4-3.
Yeah, it's gonna survive. And now we can even trade that 1-1. And Nara is so far behind on board already. I don't think he finds a way of coming back. And this is why you don't keep the Knife Juggler. He didn't want to play the Knife Juggler because you want to get value out of it. And now it's still sitting in his hand on turn 4, and you still don't want to play it though, but maybe you have to go for it for double Knife Juggler here and pray for a snipe on the 4-1. Or do you just go for that Argent Horse Rider, but then you cannot develop anything else? Let's see what Nara decides. Argent Horse Rider. I think Argent Horse Rider is a pretty good player though. But I think you have to develop 2 things. So double Knife Juggler, and you have to pray for that knife on the 1 health minion.
Yeah, double Knife Juggler could be that play. Then you have 2 things on the board. Hope for one of the things, indeed, of Ratje to die. But yeah, if it's the wolf, it's that Argent Horse Rider that's gonna benefit from it. But he decides to go for that Councilman. It's a threat, but that abusive sergeant is gonna deal with it.
I don't know why you would play here, the Councilman here. You know there are a lot of buff cards also in the Shaman. You know there are some hexes. And you're gonna take a lot of damage here. Even if Ratje just decides to ignore it and just to hammer the face with the Argent Horse Rider.
I know what.
Abusive, it's like 4, 12, it's 14 damage. He can put Nara on 11.
One of the reasons why he played it could be like one of the girls was like, "Oh, that's a funny card. Why didn't you play that one?"
Yeah, maybe. That's true.
But there's a full board here for Ratje, and he's looking not to go anywhere. Definitely with that abusive sergeant, probably going to be on that left wolf.
Yeah, the left one. He can make a value trade on it. Also, the positioning of the abusive sergeant pretty important. Play it on the left side so you can make good trades with that flame tongue totem.
So now, what can you do as Narra? You're so far behind.
That's the only thing you can do here. Okay. There is a chance he's gonna snipe something off, but he's already taking so many damage. Yeah, and that snipe is not doing it, so that's making it 1-0, I think, for Ratje. I don't think Narra can make a play here to come back. Maybe a forbidden ritual, but this is even lethal though. He has 8, 10, 13,
Just one
16,
off, right?
16, 19.
19?
Yeah, you can place the horse rider next to the flame tongue totem to get 2 extra damage. So that's 12 and 5, 17. It's 1 over lethal even. But does Ratje see it? He's still counting, I guess. Yeah, he's seeing it. So that's 20 damage for Ratje, and that makes it 1-0. And Narra has to put his cocktail away to turn this game around.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. His the shaman wins.
Yeah. As expected, yeah. That's just the reason why you banned Shaman. But Narra decided to bring Freeze Mage probably. That's why he bans the Warrior, and that's a risk you're taking.
Yeah, that's definitely a risk you take. But now you have the Hunter. The Hunter is pretty strong against. Let's see. Well, it's pretty weak against Shaman and Zoo.
Yeah, it's weak against Shaman and Zoo. And
so it has to win against that Freeze Mage. So the problem of Ratje might be that Hunter against his lineup.
Yeah, it can. Narra can beat that Hunter with all of his classes. And Narra is picking up an insanely strong hand. He picks up the Voidwalker, he picks up the Direwolf, he picks up the Councilman, a 1, 2, 3, and Voidwalker into Direwolf is really good to deal with the King Zalak or even the huge Toad on turn 2. And we see his Stable Master in Ratje's hand.
Alright, let's see how the mulligan goes. Yes, Stable Master, that's a very interesting card. Why would you play a Stable Master?
Just to protect your beast. If it's you play a lot of it's giving a 1/1 to all your Death Rattles in your hand, right?
Yeah.
But it gives a buff to Infested Wolf, Toads, High Mane.
Was Ratje playing in the Zod? Wasn't he the one playing in the Zod Hunter?
There is a chance he's playing that, but I don't know. I think you just go for Direwolf here. Maybe even go for a Coin Possessed Villager. Yeah. But you play the... Yeah.
But you play the Possessed Villager after you kill the Toad, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's a possibility that the Toad is going to snipe that Villager. But placing some extra minions on the board is really important. Especially when Ratje is going for the Animal Companion on turn 3. You have some better trades with that Possessed Villager. You place it on the left side.
Place it on the right one.
Yeah, he chooses the right side. Yeah, now Ratje has to play his Toad, and that's pretty awkward when the 2/1 Possessed Villager is in play. Narra can play Councilman next to it, giving an extra buff, because even the resummoned minion from Possessed Villager also buffing Darkshire Councilman, and Darkshire Councilman also gives Narra a better chance of tanking that huge Toad damage.
Yeah, so Councilman would be a good play on the left of that Direwolf, definitely. Because that token from the Possessed Villager that will spawn on the right side. Great sequencing here. Direwolf first to the face, making sure...
Snipe! Face!
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good for Narra, but it's still Hunter, so you maybe just want to smart. And Ratje's hand is really awful. He has double Houndmaster without a beast, double quick shot, and a deadly shot. So he only has removal and 2 minions you really don't want to play into this board. Maybe Ratje is even going for double quick shot.
Yeah. You can also do quick shot hero power.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He has to quick shot a 1-1. Are you really want to do that?
Well, looking at the hand of Narra, he draws into a Dark Peddler, and that's a great draw.
That's an insane draw. Yeah, that's an insane draw. You can play that, get even more burst. You already have 10 in hand. And yeah, you definitely go for PO here. You have 14 burst in hand. Yeah, he's thinking about a 1-draw, but I think you just go for the burst. You already have that Leroy in hand. And that's the tactic of this deck. You just spam the board with small minions and collecting your burst parts and then burst them down from 15 or 20 health and go for it. Maybe you even go for... Oh, what? He's not going for it, though.
No, he's buffing his councilman and he's putting another minion on the board. He might be considering a deadly shot in the hand of Ratje, because there is, but yeah, a power overwhelming for as a Leroy Jenkins buff.
This is already lethal, by the way. No, he has only 5 mana. Never mind.
So right now you probably tap here, right?
Yeah, you 100% tap.
Tap, Direwolf, make
And
sure.
face. Yes. Just smork now. Just do what the hunter normally does. Just go full smork.
No trading, just face. Yeah, because
definitely go for it.
You want to take that Leroy Jenkins, you want to take him down to 10, and then you have your Leroy Jenkins, but he decides to trade here.
I don't really like this. Because it's so awkward, because the only way you want to trade here is because of Houndmaster.
Yeah.
Wow, he's even trading 7 damage into a 1 health while he has the Leroy PO. He could put him on 14 health. And even when Ratje went for... even when... Oh wow, that deadly shot. If that hits the councilman...
It doesn't. Wow. And now Forbidden Ritual. No, it's a Flame Imp.
Narra got saved so much by that deadly shot. He didn't get punished for that play that was way too safe. He should have gone face there because he had lethal this turn. Even when Ratje went for that Houndmaster on turn 6, he still had lethal there.
Yeah, so he goes for Flame Imp.
Flame Imp,
Defender.
Argus.
That makes it 9.
Is he gonna trade again? That would be so greedy. Come on, just go face. Don't disappoint me.
So yeah, but what can your opponent drop on the board on 7? It's yeah, it could be a Savannah. Well, there's a Fury Bat.
You could just go for Fury Bat, Houndmaster on the...
Yeah, but it gets
the
traded away.
Yeah, you can just make a value trade on the Flame Imp with Leok. But you're not gonna win this. There's a Leroy PO in hand.
Yeah, and this can be the problem of the Hunter deck of Ratje, if all his matchups are bad against the decks of Ding, and now of Narra, and now there's lethal.
Yeah, definitely. You can just trade away the Argus into the Leok, go for Leroy, finish it off. There we go, Leroy Jenkins for the lethal. Yeah, and that makes it 1-1. And Narra, I think he's getting a free cocktail now from the bar. Because he can show his win.
Oh, that's awesome.
I still think there are people rooting for him there. I think there are 100 people watching him. And go in all different languages. And where is he on vacation? Do you know that?
No, I have no idea. I'm crying up to run.
Maybe he's just in a hotel in Utrecht or something. Or
that's his vacation. No, I imagine him on a very...
Hawaii?
It has to be a beach with a lot of sun.
Yeah, I think he's something there.
But he makes it 1-1, and like he said, that Hunter is can struggle against the lineup of Narra. So the question is, does he stick with the Hunter and tries to win? So yeah, his Zoo, how does it match up against the rest?
We have Zoo against Shaman. Like we saw before, the Shaman wrecking the Zoo completely. Normally Zoo's okay against Shaman, but Shaman is still Shaman, and if it curves out, you're never gonna win against Shaman, because Shaman is just the strongest deck. Mage, Freeze Mage against Zoo is normally a really good matchup for Freeze Mage. There's like no way you're gonna win that. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard for Ratje. His decks are not really strong against Narra's lineup. But we will see what Ratje is gonna do. And Narra decides to pick up the Freeze Mage here, and he already got the Doomsayer.
Yeah, he got the Doomsayer, and he has enough as engineer to start drawing in a second Doomsayer as well.
That's insanely good for Narra. Ratje probably doesn't play cards that can deal with the Doomsayer. We see the Soulfire though, but even that is not a really good card. And the good thing from this matchup is when you draw Alexstrasza, sometimes you don't even have to Alexstrasza your opponent, but you can just use the Alexstrasza on yourself to heal yourself back up to 15 health.
So he decides to go for the Novice Engineer, draw into something, then...
Maybe I should have just gone for the Doomsayer though. Just get the tempo. Just remove the tempo from Ratje. Develop your Ice Barrier on turn 3, go for another Doomsayer on turn 4. And deny like 5 turns from the zoo. And in the end game, it's gonna be really difficult for the zoo to get some extra damage in, because then all the freezes from the Freeze Maze coming out, like the double Blizzard, the double Frost Nova, even Flame Strike, gonna do a lot. What is Narra gonna do? He's just gonna ping it away. And maybe he decides to go for double Doomsayer next turn. I don't know.
Could be a great play. Instead of one could also get removed by that Soulfire, by charging minions. Lots of stuff. Luckily, there all the silence cards got nerfed, because otherwise we would have seen a lot of owls. But there could be a crazed alchemist in the deck of Ratje, and that could be a really awful card for Narra.
Yeah, I think Narra is forced now to play double Doomsayer here. That's 14, and Ratje has to find a way of dealing with this, or he loses everything. Oh, he's going for Frostbolt. I think double Doomsayer was like way better, but maybe Narra wants to save the Doomsayer for the Frost Nova, but he doesn't have that yet. So if he went for double Doomsayer and that went off, he could just easily go for like an Arcane Intellect, ping the face.
But right now you have that Councilman, you play it, and then you Soulfire, making sure that the Councilman doesn't get removed from your hand. But yeah, you have to invest into that Doomsayer, and that makes sure that Narra gets more and more time. He has 2 Ice Barriers already in hand. Pyroblast a little bit too early on the draw there, but he can just Arcane Intellect and do another Doomsayer.
Yeah, I think that's okay. A Doomsayer is also tanking 7 damage, but I think you want to save that Doomsayer for a freeze. You want to use the freeze with a Doomsayer. Yeah, that's so important. Zulok doesn't run any Doomsayer clears, only the Crazed Alchemist, but that's only 1 card. And as we saw from Ratje, he didn't get something in the mulligan that he still has in the hand or something. So the chance he has it in hand is really small.
Yeah, so I guess you play Arcane Intellect for sure, right?
Yeah, maybe even go for Ice Barrier and go for Arcane Intellect Ice Barrier next turn. Ooh, yeah, that's a nice play by Narra. Denying that damage from that Councilman, and now Ratje has to pick up 4 damage from the Peddler.
So you ping face here?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe even a Councilman to set up for a Flame Strike for later on.
Yeah, the chances that there's going to be power overwhelming from the Dark Peddler, that is something Ratje has to go for. I might even tap for it.
Yeah, I think you have to tap and turn here, how bad it looks, but I think you have to do it. You cannot gamble on the Peddler for PO. Because, now you give away. Oh, he gets it. Wow, such luck by Ratje. It was so greedy to go for a PO, but I think it's the winning play though. Because now Narra has to find that Flame Strike or he's gonna get so much damage. Ooh, an Emperor, but I don't think you play Emperor here. Just go for Arcane Intellect, Ice Barrier. You don't have a lot of cards, you can Emperor, so just want to get some extra cards in first.
Yeah, that Fireball can help out with that Councilman, because that Councilman is gonna get buffed by that Forbidden Ritual next turn.
And Narra is still waiting for his board clears. He is still double Blizzard in his hand, double Frost Nova, even the Flame Strike, and there's the Leroy.
Yeah, probably tap into Forbidden Ritual here, buffing up the Councilman.
And the fun thing is, if Narra finds his board clear, like the Flame Strike, Ratje is just gonna fill up the board again with another Forbidden Rituals, but Ratje cannot tap anymore, I guess. He's already on 23 health, and Narra has 16 burst in hand. So he has to be really careful about his life points.
So is choosing to opt for that wolf in the middle, buffing a little bit more.
And Narra can now easily go for Ice Barrier Fireball on the Councilman, deleting that damage from the Councilman. And Narra only took 3 damage this turn, so it doesn't matter that much. Ooh, Arcane Intellect.
Do you greed or do you need?
Oh, wow. I don't know. Yeah, you need the cards though.
So from the Warlock, how much damage can come in? Yeah, you know there's a Leroy with Power Overwhelming. That makes 10.
10, no 11, because you can place it next to the Direwolf.
Yeah, so...
and that's 11 and 8. Ooh, Frost Nova is huge here. Now you can just Frost Nova the board. That's pretty good. Just Frost Nova and go for Ice Barrier, Ice Block, maybe next turn. But you don't have Doomsayers anymore, so Frost Novaing this board is not that bad. And developing the Ice Block, Ice Barrier next turn also protects you from a 1 or 2 turn lethal. And that's a little bit extra burst with Leroy. It's 8 damage, 9 damage. And yeah, Ratje cannot really tap here. You're pretty low HP. 23 doesn't look low, but you can burst down pretty easy by Narra. If Narra finds a Fireball here, he can set up for like a 3-turn lethal with like Fireball, Ice Block into Fireball into Pyroblast, something like that.
Yeah, that could be great. That could be it. That could be the thing that Narra is looking for. But also a Blizzard is fine. Flame Strike is fine. But yeah, another tap from Ratje. Defender of Argus.
It's really scary to tap at this point, especially against Freeze Maze. But I don't know what Ratje is looking for. He has like a full board, so why would you tap? You already have everything you're looking for.
Wow. Forgotten Torch.
How many damages here on the board? You can decide to ignore the board because Ratje cannot play anything. He cannot play the Leroy, maybe even PO. He cannot play Abusive Sergeant to buff his minions. So let's count. There's
13,
9, 13,
20
damage on board. So you can go maybe for an Ice Block Fire. But, so hard for Narra. Narra's in a really bad spot here. He doesn't have his board clears. That's so unfortunate for Narra. Maybe he even has to play Acolyte. He's also only on 8 mana, so he cannot play multiple cards at the same time here.
So he's going for double secrets and pinging that Warlock, and it can be that he hopes for that Fireball to come in. Both secrets are not gonna go off.
That's pretty well played, by the way, by Narra, because he survives this turn, so he gets 2 extra turns. And Fireball Torch is 9.
Yeah.
And
Fireball Torch ping, yeah, so he's set up for 3-turn lethal. I believe that this game is for Narra.
Yeah, wow, I didn't expect that. Narra was in such a bad spot here, and Narra did some really good counting here, and he just completely turned around the game. Puts him on 10 HP, and now we see Ratje's tap is gonna punish him so hard.
Alright, so yeah, Forgotten Torch and that ping, and that's gonna set up lethal. It's an insane play from Narra.
That's insane. I didn't expect Narra to win this game. I think Ratje shouldn't have tapped into the Argus. He had all the cards he was looking for. He was filling up the board, so he couldn't go for the Leroy for setting up lethal. Because if he didn't play the Argus, he could go for Leroy to maybe even proc the Ice Block 1 turn earlier. Yeah, now Narra can just Pyroblast the face and win the game. Well done by Narra, and that makes it 2-1, right?
Yeah, and that's 2 girls on the left, 1 on the right. He only has to get that 1 girl from the left from right to the left, and then he's there. So all right,
insane.
So it's 2-0 for Narra. He wins with his Freeze Mage from the beach.
Yeah, insane.
Even winning from the beach.
Yeah, I must have feel for Ratje. Try harding at home.
Now he has Shaman left. Shaman the Zoo matchup is pretty hard, but he can win against Zoo if he plays well. If he clears the board, keeps clearing it, and we don't know what kind of shaman it is.
I think you have a better shot if you play a little bit of an early game oriented shaman, like a little bit aggressive version. Then you can contest the board way better early game. If you lose the board against Zoo as a mid-range shaman, it's so hard to get it back. Yeah, maybe with a lightning storm, but then you're overloaded again, so Zoo will rebuild the board really fast. And we will see what's gonna happen.
It's an aggressive one there. I see Lava Burst, I see Eternal Sentinel.
Yeah.
Definitely an aggressive shaman. So yeah, Narra is in a pretty good spot to get to 3-1 or 3-2. And but first he has to face off against this Zulok that is going to be favored. But not the best hand for RATje.
Yeah, Narra decides to keep the abusive, to make some value trades, and RATje picks up her awful hand with the double Forbidden Rituals. Is he going for a 1-1 on turn 1? I don't think so, right?
Well, you have the coin, you're second, so you probably don't go for the abusive. You might develop the Flame Juggler.
Wow, he's going Forbidden Rituals for only your 1-1.
And now you definitely go Flame Juggler.
Yeah, going Flame Juggler. Is this gonna happen? Is he gonna snipe it away and make it RATje really difficult? Because if the Flame Juggler hits the 1-1, RATje cannot really play the Direwolf or the Crazed Alchemist into that.
Yeah, and it cannot trade into that Flame Juggler. Flame Juggler is 2-3, I believe. And so the Direwolf is not gonna kill it. So then next turn you have Rockbiter to trade an Abusive Sergeant to get in even more damage.
Yeah, we will see what's gonna happen here. Narra's thinking about it and he's going for it. Does he have the luck of the day? Does he win that 50-50? Is he gonna go win it? No.
He's gonna go face, and that can make it a little bit of an awkward trade. He might draw into something good next turn for a better one.
It's not even that bad though for Narra. He can still go for Rockbiter Abusive Sergeant next turn. If RATje decides to go for Crazed Alchemist or maybe even go for Direwolf, he can still go for Rockbiter, trade away the... Oh, what? He decides to go for the Icky Tentacle, and that's pretty good because Narra doesn't have a proper way of dealing with those 1-1s. And now he has to totem, I guess.
Totem could be a great way. You don't want to get that Abusive Sergeant into that. You hope for a Taunt Totem, but the maybe Alpha looks pretty good. Yeah,
that Alpha is gonna get a lot of value with those 1-1s, and that's maybe the setup RATje wants to make here. He could go for a 2-2, but it would just have traded away by the Flame Juggler, and those 1-1s are gonna get a lot of value with the Direwolf, buffing all of those 1-1s up.
Alright, so Narra's thinking about it. What's the best way to deal with this one? Yeah, you were talking earlier, if you play Shaman and you are against Zoo, you just want to keep clearing that board because Zoo has so many ways to keep buffing those minions. And yeah, this is the 1-1.
Yeah, the best totem he could roll here because the 1-1 contest with those tentacles. If you rolled the 0-2 totem, RATje could just easily trade it away with that Direwolf Alpha.
The question now is RATje greedy and does he play Dark Peddler? But
it's the right play, I guess. Just go for Dark Peddler, develop a 1-drop. Maybe you can even get the Flame Imp and develop a really strong card there. You know turn 3 is going to be Feral Spirit, so that Flame Imp is going to be huge. Even Abusive Sergeant can be good. Worgen Infiltrator maybe. Maybe Shifter Xeris to get some Clown Fiesta in the end of the game.
Clown Fiesta for that highlight.
Yes. We're still looking for the highlight this game.
Yeah, we do. I only have put down 3 times on paper, but he goes for a Direwolf, goes for the trade. And wow, doesn't go for that full trade, and that makes it very interesting to play Flame Tongue Totem and Rockbiter and clear the full board here. But then the Crazed Alchemist can kill the Flame Tongue Totem as well, and that is something that Narra doesn't know. So it's going to be decisions here to make. You could also go for Feral Spirits as well.
Yeah,
of course.
Feral Spirits is the right player. It's such a strong card on turn 3. Developing 2 towns of 2-3. It's so strong. And that 1-1 can still trade away that 1/1. So that Pharaoh Spirit is really good. Also, the Direwolf has only 2 health and 2 attack, so that Pharaoh Spirit trades really well with that. And Ratje doesn't want to play the Crazed Alchemist, I guess, on that one, but I think he have to. And there's the board clear, but do you want to play that?
Well, you go for Peller first.
Definitely.
And
Okay,
that
get
is...
PO, but I think Voidwalker is even better against Shaman. But maybe he wants to get that PO. He knows that Narra maybe plays the Flame-Redded Faceless. He doesn't have a proper way of dealing with that yet. But Amin is probably more valuable, especially against an aggro Shaman as Narra is playing.
So you might even go...
Voidwalker, Soulfire. It's not that bad though, but this is pretty good. But that Tunnel Troke Abusive Sergeant, holy, that's a huge turn for Narra. Or even go for Rockbiter Tunnel Troke. And trade everything away. He gets 2 value trades. First on the Direwolf and then on the Dark Peddler, and also developing the Tunnel Troke. Putting Narra in an insanely good spot, especially with that Flame-Redded Faces coming up next turn. And also he can go for Abusive or Rockbiter to even clear one of the minions Ratje is gonna play this turn.
Yeah,
wow, what a turn.
Yeah, it was a little bit greedy of Ratje, not using that Soulfire, not using that Crazed Alchemist. For what do you want to keep that Alchemist? You want to keep it for the Flame Tongue Totem maybe. But
yeah, you can keep it for a Flame Tongue though. That's actually good thinking by Ratje, but he's so far behind now. Narra can just easily go for Abusive Sergeant, make a trade on the 2/4.
Or you can go for a 7/7 for 4 mana.
Yeah, you definitely, but you can still go for the Abusive, trade away the Imgang balls, and you even trade that 1/1 with your Tunnel Troke.
Yeah, keep your board filled up, and now the Shaman has the board against the Zulok, and now this shouldn't be the way this matchup is played, but Narra is doing a great job. Ratje is a little bit greedy, and now he is so far behind. How can he deal with this board?
It's gonna be really difficult for Ratje to make a play. Zoo doesn't play any board clears at all. They don't play Shadow Flame, they don't play Hellfire, they don't play Twisting Nether.
Wow, and there's the Doomhammer. That can be insane.
Yeah, but that Flame Tongue Totem is gonna get so much value. You can go for Elemental Sentinel, Flame Tongue Totem, even the Rockbiter. Maybe he wants to save the Rockbiter for Doomhammer. I think he's gonna totem up. Maybe even getting that Healing Totem to heal all his minions back up. And Narra is gonna think about how am I gonna sequence all the attacks. Where do I place the Flame Tongue Totem? I think the Flame-Redded Faces was a little bit misplaced by Narra. He should have placed it on the completely left side, especially with the Flame Tongue Totem up. He's gonna regret it a little bit, I guess, because you want to buff that Tunnel Troke instead of the Flame-Redded Faceless.
Right. So let's see where we go here. Yeah, you could set up for lethal for next turn. So just totem up.
10 bursts in hand with the Doomhammer.
Wow, and even gets a taunt minion.
Do you trade away that Argus? You don't have to. You have so many big minions on the board. There's no way a defender of Argus is gonna save him the game. And that makes it 3-1, right?
Yeah, that makes it 3-1. If nothing comes out of this Peddler, it's a Hungry Crab. It's a Voodoo Doctor. It can restore 2 health. Can keep him a little bit in the game, but I don't believe that will be enough with that Doomhammer and Rockbiter in hand.
No. Corruption on the Flame-Redded Faces is not gonna do it. It's gonna be 1 turn too late. Yeah,
so you have to tap here, right?
Yeah, you have to find a taunt. Otherwise you're dead. Let's see what Ratje is gonna do. Yeah, I think he knows he lost this game. Maybe he can survive 1 extra turn. No.
No, he cannot.
No, he has 10 damage on board, right? Yeah,
yes, 10 damage in hand with a Doomhammer and Rockbiter, so it's game. Ratje knows it.
Done.
And he wins his second game. Now he's 2-1 in the ESL Benelux Championship.